What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Yankees Avenue Show on the Yankees Avenue YouTube channel. As usual, I'm Patrick Hennessy. That's Dan Rourke. Dan, how are we doing on this marvelous Monday morning?
Possibly the best I've been ever doing on a show this season, Pat. I'm going to say this. We'll go more in depth, but I mean it. A franchise altering series sweep, Pat. Franchise altering. How are you?
I'm good. I can't complain. Labor Day weekend, good weekend. If you're a Yankee fan, good weekend to be alive, bro. The weather's been beautiful too. Yeah.
It,
How
it
are you,
doesn't feel
Dan?
like a holiday, though, in a way.
No,
Like,
it's not.
it's not an official. I feel like people, in a way, put on the same vibes as Memorial Day because Memorial Day kicks off summer, Labor Day closes it out. But I don't
Yeah.
get too much of holiday vibes today besides just the pure euphoria I'm feeling from the Baby Bombers 2.0 and the fucking
Oh,
beautiful shirt that you have on, Pat.
thank you.
You're a
Thank you. Thank
stylish
you.
dude. You're a stylish dude, but you're kind of like you're balling out a little bit extra today. What's the deal with that? Is that
No, I figured I wear it today. Why? You like it?
I more so meant is it like some designer shirt? Yeah, it's stunning.
No,
It's
no,
stunning.
no. I don't remember where I got it from.
Colors are popping today.
Thank you.
The
Thank
air
you.
is crisper today. The
You look
sun is
great as
brighter
well, Dan.
today.
You
Yeah,
look great as
I
well.
probably wore the shirt last week too. I did just shower. I'm ready to go. Got a ball in my hand. Got a pumpkin cream venti, which is like the biggest size they got. Cold brew. I'm ready to
Okay.
go, man. I'm a little bit too
Yeah.
amped up. I
Nice.
want to bring myself down because I'm ready
No,
to
it's
go
fine.
first. But huge episode today, bro.
Yeah. Before we get into anything, want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, FOCO, FOCO. Bro, if you haven't checked out anything FOCO by now, just do it. Code Yankees Avenue at checkout, save 50% off your purchase. We'll show you guys some more stuff a little bit later. Let's get into topic number one.
Do it.
Let's talk about the sweep of the Astros because the Yankees walked into Houston with Dominguez debuting, with Wells debuting, with the youngest infield since what, 1962 or something like that. And they walked into Houston, faced Justin Verlander, faced some of the Astros' best pitchers, and can we say dominated? Like there wasn't really many points in the series where I was like, yo, the Yankees look completely overmatched by the mighty Houston Astros. They
Never.
looked great in every aspect of the series. The baby bombers 2.0, the Yankee Utes as
I
they're
hate
calling
that.
them. I'm not a huge fan, to be honest with you, but that's what they're calling them. They looked fantastic. And if you want to go back to the previous episode, what did I say? I was like, yo, it would be so nice if Dominguez came up in his first major league at bat and went yard. What did he do? He went yard. That's what we call manifestation. That's what we call speaking things into existence. So I guess maybe we take topic number one, talk about Dominguez a little bit, because not only did he have that home run this series, he also had a monster home run on Sunday night,
Yeah.
which, bro, shout out Jasson Dominguez. He's come up and he's an absolute stud, 20 years old. He looks like he's not overmatched at all. The defense looks good. I've loved every single thing I've seen from Jasson Dominguez so far. How about you, Dan?
Oh my God. Yes. I mean, first of all, shout out to you, dude. You did call it. I didn't go back and watch the exact prediction, but everyone in the comments was gassing you up. So I just assumed that it
Thank
was
you.
true.
Thank you.
Yo, on the very first swing, and I really want to get this point across first and foremost, did it not instantly feel like, I don't know if this is the phrase or not, but like changing of the guard? Like, okay, this is where we turn the corner. The Yankees, in my opinion, not, I mean, I'm getting ahead of myself here. I know it's just one series, but I think we just witnessed the closing of the Astros dominating the Yankees. And it comes with Jasson Dominguez getting called up. First swing he takes, launches a two-run shot. Was it two or three? Yeah, two-run shot off Justin Verlander to give the Yankees a lead. And yeah, the other homer in game three, he was phenomenal. The overall vibes of the series. And it goes past that, man. We looked like a ball club this weekend. We really did, man. Speed, lineup balance, clutch hitting. The pitchers would love and throw into Wells, which we'll talk about too. Everything was just so perfect that it just didn't feel real, man. And I will say this, and we'll talk about Brian Cashman later, but overall, I want to compliment the Yankees on one little thing. I think we just pulled off another 20-minute rebuild, Pat. I really, really do. Now, by no means am I happy that what led to this point, that like, oh, it took the Yankees bottoming out, being a last place team for us to finally call these guys up, should have happened quite some time ago. And if it did, hell, we might really be sniffing a chance at the playoffs, which still isn't totally ruled out. 8.5 games back with a month to go. But point is, this totally feels like a franchise changing or altering series for the New York Yankees. And of course, we could go out there and lay an egg against Tigers. She could fall flat on our face. I understand that. But at least the vibes I'm feeling right now, the best I've felt in a long time as a Yankee fan. And it largely centers around, almost entirely centers around Jasson Dominguez and the new baby Bombers. I'm stoked, dude. I feel fantastic about this team.
Yeah, no, it definitely feels good, but to play devil's advocate a
Go
little
for it.
bit,
Go for it.
right?
Because I know I'm riding high right now.
Um,
I really, really know. I understand.
Yeah, and I also don't want this to be a complete like, oh my God, like the Yankees are the best team in baseball after sweeping the Astros. Obviously, the vibes that we've gotten from this series are amazing. And everything we've seen from the young guys is exactly what we want to see. But also at the same time, I feel like we have to sit back and kind of realize, because I've seen a lot of overreactions to this series sweep as well. We have to sit back and realize celebrating this sweep of the Astros and kind of riding way too high on it is the same thing that we used to roast like the Red Sox fans for or the Mets fans for if they would sweep the Yankees in a season series in September, let's say, and they weren't even sniffing the playoffs. Obviously, for the future of the Yankees,
Right.
this is a great start. It's a great first impression for what next season and future seasons could potentially be if they make the right moves. But I can't sit here and be like, this series sweep of the Houston Astros is franchise altering. Like I feel
Well,
like
no,
that might be
but that's the
pushing it a
thing.
little
Like,
bit.
if I were to say season altering, I think that would be silly because this season, in my opinion, is done. I feel like
Well, it's
we're. I
not
mean,
altering in any regard.
well, no. I mean, of course it is because you're talking about the new core of young kids is in, and it's probably the most exciting young batch of prospects we've ever had, and it goes way
For
past
now. Like it's
2017.
a weekend.
No, totally. But also, it's not like these kids came out of nowhere like, oh, wow, these guys might be really good. Like, they're highly touted prospects. The Yankees farm system has been blossoming this entire season in the minor leagues. They come to the big leagues and things look totally different. I'm more so just talking about the excitement of the team. Snap of a finger, vibes went from down here to up here. And it's largely because these kids, who once again are very highly touted, prove, yo, they belong in the fucking big leagues. And I'm not saying, yo, this is going to lead us to a 2024, yo, all of a sudden we're making, or 2023, we're making the playoffs. No, like, I'm not delirious. But in terms of how I felt going into 2024 compared to how I felt like a week ago going into 2024, total, complete, stark difference. And I am like firm on that. There's a
Yeah.
different energy surrounding the New York Yankees today. And it's something that, like, I thought, bro, like, put it like this. Like, when I say franchise altering, of course, I'm being very out there with how pumped I am. But when I say that, yo, it's because what was the vibe going into next year? Like, I thought we were down for, I mean, we still very well could be, but my mindset was, yo, like, we might be in for something just as bad as what 2023 was. Now, with these kids, yo, I think, and of course, what I've been saying this whole time, you got to do the hybrid of start the youth while also adding to the team. Go get a Cody Bellinger, go add to the starting rotation. You still got to put money into the team, and you have a prime Judge, prime Cole. DJ's playing better. You're going to get Rizzo back. Hopefully, he's healthy. Stanton, you hope, has a bounce back. There's still some things, on the outside besides the kids that are external factors that are important. But it just, like I said, man, it totally changes my outlook heading into next year. Not saying we're World Series contenders next year by any means, but are we expediting the process a little bit? Same way we did going into 2017? I think so. And that is a huge, huge deal. And also just
Yeah.
to be happy again as a Yankee fan was a nice feeling. Like, we fucking deserve this, bro. We deserve this after all we've been put through. We really, really did.
No, I know, but I'm definitely getting like those 2016 vibes, right? Like I would say the equivalent to Dominguez coming up and then hitting a home run in his first major league at bat is almost identical to when Judge and Austin did it, bro. Giving those same vibes where it's like, yo, the new era of Yankee players are here.
Can I say something that really quick just before we move on from that? I think it's different though, because who was the best? Look at that 2016 team, right? When those Baby Bombers, original core, that original batch came up. Who was our best players on that team? Not talking about like Sanchez, obviously wasn't
Starlin
Judge in 16, but like
Castro.
who was our best player? He was like a still somewhat developing Dieter Gregorius, yeah, probably Starlin Castro, right? But that's what I'm saying about the difference here too, is like the external factors around these kids, who just the kids in their own right, I think are so much better than that original crop, which obviously, recency bias and, revisionist history plays a part in that. But don't underestimate the fact of, yo, the surrounding core, the remaining pieces that we have of the successful part of what this team was before the kids came up. And yeah, Judge, Cole, DJ, Stant, whatever. Like, we still have some really good players in their prime that are surrounding these kids. So I just feel like the situation now, compared to 6 years ago, much better. Much
Yeah.
better. And much more like reason to be optimistic, especially knowing where things went wrong last time.
The only thing that separates it from 2016, which really sucks and like is always going to be in the back of my mind for the rest of the season, is that in 2016 we were in the playoff hunt until the very last day,
True.
really. And this team, it sucks, bro. That like I'm getting so excited watching the Yankees because this was the most fun I've had watching the Yankees this weekend, probably all season. Like I'm gonna be completely honest,
Since
bro. When
first half
Dominguez hit that home
2022,
run,
at least.
no, exactly. And it just sucks that it feels like we're watching what's essentially, I know, unless you want to like look forward to 2024, it's meaningless baseball. And I think that's the part that kind of frustrates me the most because Yes, it's great for the future, but I care about now, bro. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So I think that's the only part that's a little bit frustrating because I would, bro, imagine what the vibes would be right now if we're in the midst of a playoff hunt, bro. Hell, even if we're like 3 games back of a wild card spot and Dominguez and Wells come up, and here we are looking to make a serious postseason push. Now we're bringing the kids into the postseason with us, and it would have been so doable if the Yankees would have entered the 2023 season with a fairly competent roster. And we'll get into this in topic number
Yeah.
3, but that's the part that frustrates me the most because this had the potential to be so much more this season.
Yeah, and another thing that we'll talk about in topic 20, in topic 3 is if you just did this 2 weeks ago or
Yeah.
like an extra month earlier, even. I mean, we'd be in a totally different spot. And even, I just fall into subconsciously Yankees Astros on ESPN. It's a tight game. I'm hyped. It's like I subconsciously think like, yo, we're in a playoff hunt when I'm
Yeah.
watching. I do remind myself like, oh shit, we're not gonna have October baseball this year, which actually isn't true. We have a series, I believe, against the Blue Jays October 1st and October 2nd, so it bleeds in a
Nice.
little bit. But
Yeah. Let's
yeah,
go.
no, it definitely it sucks for the fact that we're not in a playoff race, which I'm half joking here, half not. I mean, like, maybe if you get to 4.5 games by September 15th, that's my current goal. Like, at least, keep yourself in the mix. Whatever. They might at least get over 500 now. We're only a game within 500, which would be cool. But
What would you want them to finish over
now I
500?
do. Yeah, and this
Yeah.
is I think we should talk about lots more so topic 3, but it's going to be interesting the way the Baby Bombers 2.0 are kind of saving face for what was a disastrous season, that all falls on Brian Cashman. We'll talk about that topic 3. But yeah, man, just even though we're not making the playoffs, the vibes entering 2024, because it's not like it was a thing where, entering the series, like I was in the impression we're making the playoffs and all of a sudden we're not, and I got to watch meaningless baseball. Like we knew this has been the case for a couple of months now, or at least a month. We've known the season, postseason wise, is done. So now that we get this this jolt of energy, like just ready to go, bro. Like I don't mind the fact that we're not making. I mean, obviously I mind it, but you know what I mean. Like I'm on 2024 right now. I've been 2024, so it's like full steam ahead.
Yeah, but it's still frustrating. But last thing I will say on Dominguez is I would say his first 3 games as a New York Yankee couldn't have gone any better. Like if I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, this is a 10. This was a 10. This was a 10 out of 10 debut weekend. And when I said that I need someone to come up and light the world on fire just to make me feel good about this team moving forward, we got exactly that. So I don't think we could complain at all from this weekend. So that's
Yeah,
where
there
I'm
was a
standing.
stat I wanted to find, but I could not find it. Yo,
Okay.
shout out to you, Pat, because you really did manifest this
I
week.
tried. Topic number 2. Let's talk about Austin Wells, the second baby bomber,
Yes.
the second Yankee Ute that debuted this weekend.
What
He
does that
collected.
mean, real quick? By the way, Ute. Like, I
I
mean, I'll look
don't,
it up, but
I'm pretty sure a Ute is just like a youth. Could be wrong.
yeah, a youth, a young person. Yeah,
Yeah, right. So yeah, the Yankee Utes.
I think
Not a
they're
huge fan
forcing
of
that.
it.
They don't want to
It's
say. I'll just do Baby Bombers 2.0. I love the sound of that. I'm cool with that.
very forced, very forced. But yeah, Austin Wells came up this weekend, 2 hits and an RBI double in the series finale, as well as throwing out a runner, which is kind of a big deal because all we've heard about Austin Wells is that he has a bad arm, like the Astros are gonna run all over
Right.
him, every team's gonna run all over him. Didn't look horrible. But yeah, I guess now we could kind of pose the question, especially you, kind of cementing yourself that this is the franchise altering weekend of the New York Yankees. Can we say that Austin Wells is now permanently the Yankees catcher of the future?
Well, I think the main part of this conversation is the defense. And while the offense definitely looked good, we know that the dude's going to be able to hit, especially, I'm pumped to see him come home for this Detroit series at home with the short porch because bottom line is Austin Wells is going to hit. But yeah, the defense, he threw out a runner. Mauricio Dubon, who's pretty damn quick. Let me see where he ranks in
He's pretty
speed.
fast, Dan.
Yeah, yeah,
Some would call him quick.
yeah, he's pretty damn quick. So like that's kind of impressive. But also Michael King and the rest of the Yankee pitching staff was gassing him up about just the way he receives the ball. And Jimmy John Boy posted a cool little clip of something King was talking about how at first, when calling for a sinker, Wells wasn't exactly setting up the way that King likes. He likes it to be very much like a body setup rather than glove. And King kind of talked that over with him and said, like, yo, like just make this little tweak. Wells did it perfectly, I guess. And King was gassing him up after the fact, saying, like, yo, being able to make that quick enough adjustment and that perfectly the way he did it is huge. And just overall, the pitching staff was talking about how well or how easy it was to throw to him, that's kind of like the biggest thing, especially coming off Jose Trevino, which that's like his biggest compliment is how well he receives the ball, how well he handles the pitching staff. If Austin Wells can at least be competent at that while being able to throw out runners, hopefully, and crushing the shit out of the ball, left-handed batter, god damn. I mean, I know I'm right behind the optimist thing. That's just what I'm gonna do this episode. Like, I don't care. That's just bro, I'm pumped. Like I haven't been able to be pumped all season. Like that's what I'm gonna do. Like as of right now, bro, like I'm pumped about Austin Wells, especially for the fact that the left-handed bat and just overall the lineup balance, dude. Like it was a total breath of fresh air seeing the way the Yankees lineup was working this year compared to not only just prior this season, but the whole entire core. Righty, righty, righty to now righty, lefty, speed and just athleticism. And yeah, with Wells though, man. I mean, I think he's gonna hit. You just hope the defense is gonna be good enough. And I think that series he showed like it was a good first start.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. And I think if I had to answer the question myself, I would say 1,000% Austin Wells is the Yankees catcher of the future. I seen a lot of people bring up Jorge Posada as a comparison because when Posada came up, his defense wasn't very highly touted, but he had the bat, and that kind of made up for it his whole career. Obviously, the defense improved along the way. Gary Sanchez is another one, right? He first came up, his defense wasn't very highly touted, and we know over Gary's time in New York, his defensive struggles were very prevalent. And then Jose Trevino comes along, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's so nice to have a catcher that's elite defensively." And kind of going off of that and playing devil's advocate a little bit, what do we say? Because both you and I believe that Austin Wells should be the Yankees starting catcher. What would we say to people who are like, "Yo, we have Jose Trevino coming back next season. He's a platinum glove catcher. You can't just make him the backup."
To me, I think it's easily that you absolutely can. Now, it's a matter of if Wells' defense is competent. If it's horrible, then that opens a conversation. That very quickly could lead to Trevino taking back that starting job, a concern I mentioned last week. But, dude, for a month, Trevino was a decent hitter. You know, that first start, that first, like, not even the first half, like probably the first 6 weeks of 2022, he was decent with the bat. Outside of that, the dude has been one of the worst hitters in baseball, like sub 600 OPS type. And while I understand, you know, an offensive first catcher or just a catcher who can hit, period, is very rare in baseball, it is a severe disadvantage when you just have a total complete black hole in your lineup. And if Austin Wells can even manage a 750 OPS for a catcher, that might as well be an 850 for a regular player from the left side. It really just comes down to, can he be, that's a word for me, competent defensively? Because having a left-handed bat out of the catcher position that can slug, just hit, period, is going to be so monumentally valuable for this team. And yo, to the Jorge comparison, I like that a lot because also, from what I'm seeing, Wells' attitude feels like it really will play in New York, I think. I don't know if it's part of it seems he has like the college rah-rah energy, but also a very serious attitude about him that he cares about winning. And I could see him kind of being, this is getting so ahead of myself. But once again, I'm going to do that this whole episode. So just bear with me. Like we always talk about Posada was, you know, the enforcer of the clubhouse where Jeter was the captain. Wells seems like the no bullshit kind of vibe that I think this team may need. Now, of course, you're not going to see that right away. He's a rookie. You may not even see that to start out next year. But when he really comes into his own and establishes himself as a big leaguer, I think he could be a personality in the clubhouse that we've really needed for a long time.
And I really hope this doesn't serve a conversation I don't want to. But as far as just what we've seen, I would say leadership wise and also maturity wise from Dominguez and Wells this weekend, just in their interviews and on the field and what we're seeing in the dugout, it is at a different level than what we've seen from any of the Yankees rookies over the past season or so. Specifically Anthony Volpe. Sorry, but I know you mentioned last episode and you said, oh, like Anthony Volpe's kind of becoming a leader. Yeah. I think the level of maturity that we saw from Dominguez and Wells so far this weekend outweighs that by a bunch. Peraza as well, Pereira. Maybe it's also because those two aren't really showing too much on the field, but I think what we've seen from Dominguez and Wells this weekend, maybe it's a little bit too soon to say, but it outweighs anything else I've seen from any Yankee rookie in the past 5 years, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, what do you mean about Volpe though? Just saying like they're more mature.
Maturity wise, yeah, for sure.
I mean, I won't necessarily go
just the way they carry themselves. For sure.
I think Volpe's handled himself great. He's just a little bit more smiley. I'll say I was really pumped to see Jasson did a full interview in English with ESPN.
Yeah.
That was sick. I remember actually 2016. The Yankees had this town hall thing. I don't know if you recall this. This was like entering the 2017 offseason. And it was James Caprillion. I think Tyler Wade was there, Rob Refsnyder, somebody else, and Gleyber Torres. And I remember Gleyber Torres was answering the questions largely in Spanish, which obviously is fine, whatever you're most comfortable in. And then the very last one, he was like, I'm going to answer this one in English, and got like an uproar of applause. And he did it. And it was like really cool. That's a big deal. Like, you're from another country. I mean, Dominguez lived like his whole life pretty much in the DR till he was 16. And then to see him be able to answer a question in English, like, as dumb as it may sound, like that adds to like your star power. I mean, if you're able to be like an English speaking athlete in America, I mean, like that goes to this dude's going to be box office and the aura that he has as well. I mean, we haven't talked about, I mean, now I guess on the back of the Dominguez single, we haven't talked about just the way this dude fucking looks. I mean,
Yeah.
he's only 5'9", but bro, the dude is a fucking tank. And like he
He's a very
looks,
big 5'9".
bro. Yes, very much so. But this is so cliche to say about a rookie, I feel like. But he doesn't look scared up there, bro. He looks like he's gonna
But
fuck.
that's what I'm saying. There's
Like
there's
he
a
has,
very high level of maturity there for a 20-year-old.
but it's not even just maturity, me, bro. It looks like pure fucking like killer mentality. I mean, he
Confidence.
looks so, yeah, he looks so confident up there to where it's, I don't want to say it's cocky because some people take it as an insult, but like he has a smirk when he's in the batter's box. He looks like he's like, I'm ready to kill this fucking baseball. And yo, on that Verlander swing, I mean, shit. He just fucking flicked that shit out to left field. It wasn't even like any other player. It's kind of like how with like Judge, where like most players you see where the ball is trajectorying, like, oh, that's a line out. That's how I felt kind of about Dominguez. Maybe it would go to the wall. Like I knew it was kind of hard hit, but like a ball that low and that like much more of like a line drive normally wouldn't carry out. But guys like Judge and Stanton will. I wouldn't think for a 5'9" Jasson Dominguez it would, but it did. Like
Yeah, and
getting off track here, but yo, they
no,
they
but
they look so confident in the box, especially Wells and Dominguez looked phenomenal this weekend. Phenomenal.
one thing I do want to touch on from the point you made where it can maybe come off as cocky. And this is kind of just my take, whether it's for a baseball player or in real life. Bro, I don't think that there's any such thing as cocky. I think it's just confidence, bro. And if Jasson Dominguez might come off as cocky, or if any Major League Baseball might come off as cocky, I don't think it's a thing. I don't believe in that word. I think it's just like extreme self-confidence. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, bro. If you walk up to the plate every single at bat and you give off that energy that you know you're better than your opponent, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, dude.
I think there can be something wrong with cocky, but I know what you mean. I think a lot of times it's the
But
same.
cocky doesn't exist. There's no such thing as it.
I think it does. I think the difference between cocky and confidence can also often be like how you treat people. Like you could celebrate all you want, you can be confident as hell, but when you say trend more towards like an Alec Manoah, where you throw it in your opponent's face rather than just like uplifting yourself and being really confident within your own like skin, I think that's the difference there. Like if you're so confident that it's obnoxious towards like your opponent and showing up your opponent, that I'm not a huge fan of, especially like being with the Yankees. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't think that's the case with Dominguez. I think he's just very confident within himself. Like you could see him at the plate. Once again, only 3 games in, but the dude looked like a fucking serial killer of baseballs. And not
So
talking about the result, just the way he looks in the box. Like if I didn't know any better, if I didn't know what he did this weekend, just seeing him stand there, I would assume he hit a couple homers just by the fucking devilish look in his eyes with that smile grin he has, which makes it almost like probably more. I mean, not that I don't know if pitchers give a shit about this crap, but I'd be intimidated as hell seeing him in the box and him batting third between Judge and Stanton. Like, oh my
nice.
God.
Yeah,
Like,
I like it.
oh, it's just perfect. Everything is just so very suddenly perfect with the Yankees lineup. And I know they could go out and lay an egg in the next series. Shit could change. But right now, bro, like, I love it.
Yeah, and that's why looking forward to 2024, especially with Dominguez potentially in that 3-hole. Bro, I even like the idea of potentially leading him off. That could be an idea too. But I think if DJ is going to be back to DJ self, I like him at leadoff.
Word, yeah.
But I saw someone put together a potential 2024 Yankees lineup, considering Rizzo's going to come back healthy, considering DJ is going to be good, considering Stanton's going to be good. All you really need to do now that you have Wells and Dominguez is go out and sign a Cody Bellinger. And then you're looking at an insane lineup. Go out, fix the pitching staff. Luis Severino, I'm sorry, he had a couple good starts against garbage teams. Comes out against the Astros. That was a pathetic showing.
I would call it pathetic.
It was, bro. He had 100 pitches in the fourth inning. He had the problem with Luis Severino. I feel like if he's going up against competent hitting, he has zero put away stuff. I think they had what, like 40 foul balls or something throughout the first 2 innings.
Well, I mean, I think the 106 pitches or whatever he threw was like the most of a 4 inning starter in Yankee history, at least in some time. Like it was in a way a historic start for the wrong reasons. I didn't think he was terrible. We still ended up winning the game, but yo, I'm with the Bellinger thing. Like, and also I get why people may not want to get Bellinger because some people get a little too like gung ho into like start every kid everywhere. We still got to surround them with pieces. Although I don't think you need to do much. I think if you just add some sort of a bat, which I haven't evaluated the free agent market too much, but Bellinger's the clear standout there. I mean, shit, if you had Jasson in center, Bellinger in left, Wells starting at catcher. You have Rizzo at first. Like, let's go
I do
positionally.
like
What we could,
Dominguez in left though. I do.
sure. I mean, if I guess if you were to sign Bellinger, maybe you would
Yeah.
do that. I think that's interchangeable. That'll be just fine. I think Dominguez looked good in center. But real quick, a little positional thing for next year. I mean, pretty simple to chalk up. Catcher Wells, first base Rizzo, second base Glaber, third base DJ, shortstop Volpe, left field Dominguez, center field Bellinger, right field Judge. First injury to an outfielder, you go Pereira.
DH Stanton.
DH Stanton, of course, yes. Peraza will be interesting. Peraza will be interesting because I think many thought that, like, because he had a good weekend, at least one really good game.
Sure.
If DJ wasn't playing so well, you probably shoot him into third base. Does that make any sense? I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. You guys get it though. So we'll have to see what happens with them. Probably move on though.
Yeah. Before we end topic number 3, want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Foco. Foco. If you guys haven't checked them out, be sure to check them out. They have all the best bobbleheads in the world. We got to get some more stuff. I gotta
And that's so much more in Hoboken. You guys know the deal, though. Bobbleheads, wall art, apparel, Crocs with the Yankee logo on it. Anything with the Yankee... Excuse me. I'm a pig. Anything with the Yankee logo on it, they probably have it. Pat's got a dope-ass hat on. Yo, we're going to have to... Do you think Jasson stays with 89, by the way?
I hope not.
Yeah, me neither.
You know, they just randomly gave that to him.
Yeah, which I think is fine for now. It's like spring training vibes or whatever. I think if he were to go to... I think 77 would be cool. Kind of like keep up with the 9.
I like 12.
It's like 12's cool.
Or 24.
Who's wearing 24 right now? Anybody?
I don't think anyone.
I think it was Carpenter last year. Anyways, Crocs?
No, they're clogs.
Oh, clogs, whatever. Code Yankees Avenue, 15% off. Football season starts, by the way, this week. You get the Thursday
crazy
opener, and then a week from today will be the Jets. So you could also deck yourself out in something jet green.
I had a dream about the Jets.
Really? You're already
a
fan? Like you're buying it?
Yeah. It's kind of weird.
Was them like welcoming you in like a spiritual ceremony?
No. So basically, I was on the field and I watched Aaron Rodgers throw a touchdown pass to the right side of the touchdown area. Just saying, maybe it happened. That's another manifestation.
Yeah. Dude, it's a huge game. I mean, a week from now, you'll have Jets Bills on Monday Night Football. Talk about changing of the guard. This could be one of those games. Let everybody know. Nah, we're not getting bullied no more. We're back in business. We're the Jets. Jets. Welcome to the.
I'm a known Jets fan and a known Phillies fan. Once October 3rd rolls around. Let's get into topic number 3, Dan.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about kind of this whole episode has been good, like Baby Bombers 2.0 vibes, and just the future of the New York Yankees is looking as bright as ever. A complete 180 from the way we felt about this team a week ago, even a few days ago, and where Brian Cashman was really public enemy number 1. Everyone wanted to push him right out of town. Fire Cashmanite, I think, is still happening September 22nd. And now I guess we could kind of ask the question, after a weekend that you called franchise altering, is Brian Cashman off the hook?
No, he's not off the hook by any means, because if Brian Cashman were to go into this year and be like, okay, we're going to rebuild, we're going to retool, we're going to center the season, and just kind of like the last couple years around, prepping for a new core Baby Bombers, I think everybody would have been, at least in hindsight, like on board with that. Like, okay, this is a plan, we followed suit. But instead, I mean, you still, the Josh Donaldson deal still happened. Every trade he made last year still happened. We still bottomed out to a last place team in the American League East. I don't think this has gone according to plan at all for Brian Cashman. Now, with that said, I'm very interested to see what happens with the fire Brian Cashman night that is set for September 22nd, because even though I may be like at the extreme of it all, generally speaking, vibes are pretty damn high amongst the fan base entirely. Like, it's like interaction on Yankees Avenue is going fucking crazy. Like, people are really, really riding high. So I'm curious to see like what the overall perception is of Brian Cashman. As for me right now, like, I'll give you credit. You pulled off the 20-minute rebuild. I think you had a pretty damn good farm system, which I've credited him all season for having. So that's whatever. It just comes down to the same thing. Like, is he going to supplement this core? Same issues that we know happened with this last core, I worry about happening with this one. Is he going to supplement it with the right team around him? He's going to allocate money properly. He's going to trade value at its highest. He's going to bring in the right guys surrounding this new core Baby Bombers to give him the best chance possible of winning a World Series. He didn't do that with the last one. So by no means the excuse, because, you developed some more good kids again. Hell, you did that before. And how did it work out? That's the thing, too. It's like, I can talk about the 20-minute rebuild and like franchise alter. Like, it doesn't make a difference if you don't make the right moves surrounding these guys. So by no means is Brian Cashman off the hook. I'm sure he feels a little bit better. And I think we should talk about this because we didn't mention it. To be fair to Cashman, in relation to, say, his difference with Hal, is that Hal didn't want to trade away Bader. Hal didn't want to do like a full white flag on the season, which Cashman apparently did, to his credit. So while we say, yo, like this shit should have happened 2 weeks ago or a month ago, I have a hunch that Cashman probably did want that to happen. Maybe Hal was waiting a little bit longer, not necessarily for the kids to come up, but just like totally waving the white flag. So just to be fair to him on that. But no, he's not off the hook at all. He still has to. Now I'm open to, yo, if you like in the end, you win a fucking World Series, bro. Like, bet. We're clean. We're on good terms. Until that point, though, like until you show me you're putting all effort possible to win that World Series, like you're not gonna be on my good side.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think to go off what you said and also go off what we were talking about in topic number one, Brian Cashman is surely not off the hook because as fun as this weekend has been and as bright as the future may seem, it could be so much better. The 2023 season could have been so much better
Right.
if the right moves were made. If we, like I said in topic number one, bro, if the New York Yankees entered the 2023 season, just improving the offense a little bit, we could be looking at a completely different situation right now, bro, because we're talking about a matter of what are they, 8.5 games out right now? We're talking 5 more wins. If the Yankees won 5 more games this season, they would have only been what? Potentially 3.5 games back, which changes the game completely.
Yeah.
And there were so many opportunities where the Yankees blew games that didn't need to be blown. They lost games that were they were lost on ludicrous conditions.
Mm-hmm.
So I think by no means is Brian Cashman off the hook. If anything, I think that it makes it more frustrating because if the Yankees just bottomed out completely and the 2023 season was a complete collapse, then it's very black and white, right? It's yes, this season was a failure and Brian Cashman is to blame. But now, since the last month of the season looks like it's shaping up to be very uplifting to our spirits, I think that's gonna hurt us more than it's gonna help us going into the offseason because I don't know if the necessary moves are going to be made now. Like, is Boone definitely on the chopping block now? Is Cashman's job definitely going to be at risk if the Yankees finish over 500? Especially because now they're like, well, now we have this new core going into the 2024 season, and maybe they'll go out and they'll get like a random supplemental piece. But I also wish that we had a different GM entering this new core because, like you said, it feels like a renaissance in a way. It feels like the Yankees have a newfound energy and newfound grit and
Mm-hmm.
determination to them, whatever it is. And I'm so worried at this point that it's going to be a same exact cycle of the last time, bro, of
Fair.
2016, where like we didn't really do much to kind of supplement pieces to that core. And we didn't give Bryce Harper the conversation that he wanted. And we didn't go out and get Garrett Cole when we should have. And we didn't get Justin Verlander when we should have. So that's kind of my biggest fear now that we're going to enter the 2024 season and we're not going to go out and sign Bellinger because we're like, yo, we got Pereira waiting to be our left fielder with Jasson in
Right.
center. And that's what we're going to roll with because that's the smartest option.
Mm-hmm.
That's my main concern. And I do wish that entering this new core, this new Baby Bombers 2.0, I wish we had a different person controlling operations.
I think you said a lot of that perfectly. And that's something you haven't mentioned yet also is just like what happens with the job security now. Now, Cashman, I am like certain, even before this, he probably wasn't going anywhere. Like pretty much kind of came to realization, like he's not going anywhere. But Boone, I'm wondering now maybe Boone does stay. And that's something that still, although the vibes are high, could cause an uproar amongst the fan base if we find out this offseason, now he's staying put. I won't necessarily be the one freaking out about that the most. You guys know how I am about Boone. But also with that said, I still am not opposed to cleaning house. But if Cashman isn't going anywhere, should Boone really go anywhere? We've talked about the scapegoat conversation a lot, but yeah, no, I think it's what was I going to say?
Well, I think that's my biggest concern. That goes back to what we asked earlier. If you even want the Yankees to finish above 500, because my main concern here is I don't want a hot month of September. I don't want a revigorating. Is that a word?
Yes.
Revigorating?
Mm-hmm.
Revigorating month of
Invigorating. I looked it
September.
up last night, actually, if that was a word.
Oh,
Funny enough.
nice. I like it. I don't want revigorate. No, it's not a word. Revigorating is not a word. I think it's invigorating.
Yeah, I guess so.
Either way, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I don't want a hot month of September to kind of make the Yankees and everyone else forget the 2023 season was a massive failure.
Totally. So, but here's the difference, though, this time around. And Feo, I think, was in a polite way, constructive criticism or whatever, kind of calling us out on this last week that we said, or at least I said, I never really wanted the Yankees to bottom out. Well, that changed for me when I knew this team wasn't making the playoffs. And the reason for that was because the concern so much so was them running it back. And that was, like, not that they would bring Josh Donaldson back, but at the time, it's like DJ's not hitting, Rizzo's not hitting, Bader's not hitting. It felt like pretty much there's a high chance we might get the same team of those struggling veterans coming back in 2024 with, the talk of there were injuries and, they're going to have a bounce back year next year. You're crazy if you don't think this guy's going to bounce back. But now we already are past that. The kids are up. So I feel like there's no really running back to be had. We're getting a totally different team in 2024 than we had a month ago, which I wasn't so sure that was going to be the case. So I feel like the damage is already kind of done in that regard, in a good way. Like white flag is waved. The kids are here. So I feel like we kind of already got that out of the way. So with that said, I am now fully on rooting, I want them to win. I want them to finish above 500. I want to end the season feeling really strong about how the season ended, while still now acknowledging, missing the playoffs sucks for sure. But now, my whole theme of this episode, I guess, is it's all about 2024. And the more they win the rest of this month, the better I'll feel going into that. So, yeah, that's kind of just like where I'm at. I feel like we're already in a different spot now. I really, really think like the kids are up. Like, this is it. This is the new window. We're now in a different era of the New York Yankees. This weekend, regardless of thinking it's going to go well or not, I mean, I'm obviously going on the optimistic side of things. A new era was started this weekend. Whether it goes bad or good, a new era was started for the Yankees.
Yeah, that's just where you and I differ, because I still want to see the Yankees finish under 500 this year.
What happens though if that does happen? If they fall like say like I don't know, they finish 10-20 the rest of the way or whatever the math is, and just bottom out, finish below 500. What more is there really to come? Like besides, I guess Brian Cashman does get fired. I just don't think that's happening.
My hope is that the season's already a failure. They're not making the playoffs. What incentive do we get to finishing over 500? I think that there's definitely more upside to finishing below 500. I think it's just numbers wise. I think that it makes for a better chance for there to be serious change this offseason, which I think the Yankees still desperately need. So that's why I'm in the boat where finishing under 500 gives us a better odds to get the changes that we need in order to be more successful moving forward. And finishing over 500 is absolutely nothing, bro. Like, let's just be honest.
Yeah, but I more so think about what comes with finishing above 500. Like that probably entails the kids playing well, winning games. Like I think that's also important itself. But if
I want the kids to play well, but finish below 500.
Sure. I mean, now we're really getting into it. I think more so like there's not much that will now happen that's not already going to happen. Like maybe the main difference would be like if they bottom out, maybe Boone goes. I think Cashman dude isn't going anywhere. Like he's staying put. We talked about it a little bit last week, but Hal's considering like doing a total overhaul on the analytics, stuff like that. I think those details, those wrongdoings with the franchise has to be fixed no matter what. And I think we're headed that way, hopefully, because Brian Cashman isn't out of this just yet. I think Hal's like legitimately still pissed about the way the season transpired, as he should be. So I'd like to think he's still like, will enforce that. Okay, even if you're staying put, the changes below you are going to happen, which I mentioned last week is pretty fucking stupid. You should probably just start at the top, the guy that caused all those problems, and Brian Cashman. But yeah, that's kind of where I sit in the whole thing. It'll be interesting, dude. I think no matter what, we're headed for an interesting ass offseason. I hope they don't think this like really did legitimately save face for them. Like you still got to show up, Brian Cashman. Put a fucking World Series caliber team together.
You said it altered the franchise, so like why wouldn't they think that?
Well, I don't think Brian Cashman's going anywhere no matter what. It's just a matter of he has to fucking fix his shit and do the right thing with this core where he went wrong last time. Fix your wrongs, bruh.
Yeah. We spent the whole episode talking about Dominguez, Wells. Obviously, the Yankees have a bunch of other young guys up as well. So let's take topic number 4. Let's talk about one Yankee other than Dominguez or Wells that impressed you this weekend.
All right. So there's a couple you could pick from. Particularly, I want to give a shout out. This isn't my guy, but Oswald Peraza. He was getting a lot of slack, and from me last week about 130 at bats in. This dude has a below 600 OPS. He just hasn't hit. He had a 3-hit night the other day and an RBI double in the series finale. So shout out to him. He was starting to look a little bit better. Curious what his future is. Somebody's calling me from Haddonfield, NJ, in the middle of the Yankees Avenue Show. Bullshit. My guy though is Randy Vasquez, man.
Oh, that was my guy.
Oh, fuck.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Well, hell, I kind of just took Peraza. I mean, I was just saying about Vasquez. This is a quick topic, anyways. He looked like a legitimate piece of next year's team. Now, I don't think that'll be in the starting rotation, but as for a reliever, he had the energy, he had the stuff. He just had that look about him, and he pitched 2 scoreless innings, 2 strikeouts. He looked like an up-and-coming stud out of the bullpen. And it seems like an arm that the Yankees are just going to turn into one of the better relievers in baseball over the next 6 years. Like, it's not that that's going to happen or not, but he just gives me off that vibe. Like, okay, here's another guy that the Yankees, to the credit, I always give him credit on this, they're good at that. Turning starters or turning whatever into high elite relievers. And you know that's what they're all about because they learned their lesson with the Zach Britton and the Aroldis Chapman deals, which thank God they did. And I don't want to roast those too much. I was on board for those at the time. But in hindsight, bro, paying $18 million to a fucking reliever is maybe the biggest like malpractice you could have for a payroll. Because especially on the Yankees' sake, yo, you can just develop these fucking, I don't even call them buns, but some of them can be buns. Not in the case of Vasquez, he's a top prospect, but they turn up elite relievers like it's nothing. And what are you paying this guy? 600 grand? You could have a whole bullpen next year with the most money being made of being like Clay Holmes and Jonathan Loáisiga around $3 million in total. You could have an elite, almost the best bullpen in baseball for less than $10 million next year. And that's all because the Yankees are so good at just developing these arms. And I think Vasquez is going to be the next guy. Like he'll be like, he's like a breakout candidate next year for me.
Agreed. Yeah. And I think breakout candidate for this year, kind of in the small sample size we've seen him. And that's why Randy Vasquez is the guy I was most impressed with this weekend. And I would say just this season, I've been very impressed with him. Everything we've seen from Vasquez, from his first start in May when he got called up to face the Padres, and I think he went like five innings, 2 earned runs, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And going into that start, I didn't even know who he was. I didn't know who Randy. I didn't know what a Randy Vasquez could possibly be.
Yeah.
But now I definitely see the potential there where if he's a reliever entering the 2024 season and maybe he fills the role that Michael King played for the Yankees. If Michael King's going to convert to a starter, which he wants, and clearly the Yankees see potential there. I could definitely see Randy Vasquez being an innings eater in the bullpen. Give the Yankees some length, and his stuff looks really good, bro.
Yeah.
Shout out to Randy Vasquez because I'm also very intrigued in the month of September to see a little bit more from him. This could all mean nothing if he comes out in his next 3 appearances and absolutely shits the bed. But I do think that there's more potential for upside there than there is for him to completely bottom out this month.
Totally. And I love the high leg kick, by the way. I think it's pretty
Nice.
electric. Yeah, no, it's sick. And you mentioned, I want to talk about it real quick. Michael King. I still am opposed to the idea of him being like a fixture in the rotation just because he is such a good reliever, like a multi-inning reliever. I don't think you want to lose that. But now that he's reached the 5 inning mark, I can look at him and be like, okay, he's a legitimate option as a starting pitcher. So wondering if next year, does he go into a competition in spring training, or I still want them to hold it in their back pocket as a thing like, yo, somebody goes down, maybe if a couple guys go down, you're next in line to start. But it's a nice feeling knowing that, yo, especially against the Astros, what do you go, 5 innings, 1 run? Like, he looked good yesterday. Obviously, he's not a good pitcher, but
Can I be honest?
yeah.
Like I said that Randy Vasquez can kind of fill the hole that Michael King is going to leave in the bullpen. Wouldn't it make more sense to just have Randy fill the rotation spot and just have King keep doing what he's doing in the bullpen?
I think it would more, in terms of, it makes more sense just to fill out the rotation spot, period. I don't know if you go necessarily to Randy Vasquez for that, but just to go get another starter, yes.
Well,
And
why not? Why not see what Randy could do? Because I mean, so far this season as a starter, bro,
well, it depends,
I'm looking at his starts right here. He's given up 2 earned runs in his 3 starts this season.
no, Randy's been great for sure. I think it's also about, at least the way I see it in my head.
That's a lie. 4 earned runs in 4 starts, but still very
Nah,
good.
he's been good. But King, I think like what is our rotation for next year? It's Cole, Rodon,
Nestor.
Herman, and like we don't
Well,
really
Herman's a question mark.
like
We don't
one of the
know.
two, if not both of them, may not be here next year. I think Herman probably will, but Nestor may be headed for shoulder surgery. And whatever the situation is, you can't necessarily count on Herman. So King right now, if you were to
Can't
like
really count on Rodon either, to be honest with you.
no, yeah, no, the Yankees' whole rotation next year, besides Cole, is a question mark. Feels like 2021 all over again. But like what I'm saying is like it's not like King is lined up to be your 5th starter next year. I feel like it's like right now, if you were to have him as a rotation piece, it's like almost like he's your number 3 or number 4. So it's like no matter what, the Yankees need to add to their starting rotation. If it comes down to like, okay, you go into spring training like battle for the 5th spot, which would be more 2017 vibes. I'm cool with him like competing for it. Thing is though, if Michael King's competing for the job, he's gonna win it. You know what I mean? Like if it is him versus Vasquez, like if you're just going off effectiveness and stuff, performance, King is gonna win the job in spring. So it'll be interesting. It's something to keep our eyes peeled to.
I mean, we're kind of touched on the rotation. Can we talk about Rodon's start against the Astros real quick? Just because it kind of, I don't know what it is, but I'm just thinking back. I don't remember what his exact line was. I don't think it was great, but I don't think it was horrible either. But Carlos Rodon is a pain to watch, bro. And it's not something I thought I was gonna feel when he signed with the Yankees and what we've seen from him in the past. It just feels like it's a Luis Severino situation a little bit, where it feels like he doesn't have a put away pitch. It feels like every single time we watch him face these guys, he struggles to get them out. And I feel like it's something that's becoming some sort of reoccurring thing throughout his starts this season. But I can't say I've been impressed with Carlos Rodon as a New York Yankee.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty easy to say for sure. And it also
But
just comes down
stuff
to,
wise,
yeah, I mean, so with that, it's definitely a concern for the fact of he basically only has two pitches in a way that he uses. It's the fastball and the slider. And we're starting to notice this while he threw two scoreless innings on Sunday. Tommy Kahnle, very quickly within a month, we saw get exposed to the fact of, hitters are starting to know he only throws his pitch, pretty much a changeup. And when you only have two pitches, especially as a starting pitcher, like what's the shelf life on that? How long can that really last? Now, Rodon is pitching better. Last three starts, he does have a 2.87 ERA. Only 12 strikeouts and 15 2/3, but the last two, he's been starting to rack up some Ks. The concern for Rodon is also just, and this goes along with the two-pitch thing, is that while even at his effective dominance, he's not exactly like an ace in terms of going deep into games. He's not a horse that'll give you 7 innings like we see Cole do a lot. He's, because the pitch gets so high and he doesn't have the ability, at least in his Yankee tenure so far, to put away hitters. The pitch count gets up there like crazy, and he only goes, like 5? The most we've seen him go maybe is 6 innings, but we've seen that, once? Like even this past weekend against Houston, he goes 5, and that felt like we were kind of lucky to see that. So I think he's looking better, and it is nice to see him starting to strike a little bit of guys out. I think he still may be. He's kind of reminds me of, although very different pitchers, and Snell's having a great year, they're kind of similar, Snell and Rodon, for the fact of great pitchers at times at their peak that don't go all that deep into games. Like I feel like a great Carlos Rodon start is almost 5 2/3, 1 run, 10 Ks. I feel like if you get that out of Rodon, like
that would be amazing.
But I'm saying more so like the innings part of it. Like I mean, you got to believe that hopefully over these next 5 years, we're going to get to a consistent Rodon that is like in terms of ERA and strikeouts, a Cy Young caliber pitcher. But what I'm saying is, with all that said, he's still not a guy that goes that deep into games. And part of that is because he doesn't have that put away pitch. At least, no, he has a put away pitch, but I feel like he needs to get one more, and they're going to have to go into the lab with him, I feel like.
No, I agree.
But yeah. What's topic 5? Do you have anything?
I'm going to be honest. I don't really have anything unless you do.
Here's one. Do you feel bad for Oswaldo Cabrera at all? Like,
why?
No, here's why. Because they're doing the whole baby bombers thing. I don't know if you saw the picture that was put out the other day of them all holding their jerseys, which included Volpe. It wasn't just everybody who got called up that day. It was
I did see that picture.
Yeah, Jasson, Wells, Peraza was up there, Pereira, and Volpe. They did not have Waldo in there. And I feel like in general, while he's been shitting the bed, so I know what you're going to say. He's like been terrible this year, so screw him is what you're going to say. But I kind of feel like he's a little bit left out, bro. He's just not part of the baby bombers 2.0, I guess.
Well, he's not. And I would say if we're looking at the future of the New York Yankees, Oswaldo Cabrera is not in my plans
it's just like
whatsoever.
A little social media thing, bro. Like, why is ESPN doing him dirty, not putting him on the graphic?
Well, because why should he be there? Okay, so let's bring Johnny Brito in there too. Let's get
yes.
Was he?
I think so.
Was Randy Vasquez in there?
Hey, Johnny Brito was I almost shouted him out for having a good performance. Johnny Brito's been money this year, dude.
Yes. But yo, can we look at the picture? Pop it on the screen. Okay. Who else is in there?
Well, let me see if I actually have the picture on here. I believe it's just a bunch of fucking middle linebacker numbers, but let me get it up. I believe I have it in 2 seconds.
1, 2,
it's Randy. 4. Here we go. Okay, you got Dominguez on the left, then Volpe, then Wells, then Pereira, then Peraza. Okay, so at least in this one, Brito and Vasquez aren't in it.
Yeah, sorry, Waldo, you're not good enough. That's just, bro. That's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Like you're gonna be left out. Like, oh, maybe all your friends are like they got called up to the teacher's office to have a pizza party because they got an A on their test, and you didn't get an A on your test, Waldo. So you're not getting called up for the pizza party. That's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Use this as motivation, buddy. If you're mad about it, look at yourself in the mirror and don't be like, oh, they excluded me. Look at why they excluded you, Waldo. Look at why you're not in that picture. Reflect on it and improve because that's the only way you're getting in the next picture, bud.
Eat a Snickers, dude. I think it's fair, I guess. Yo, good episode today, man. We got an off day Monday today.
Yeah.
Then we have Detroit for home, which, I'll say, I guess I'll maybe do a next episode too, but shout out to Miguel Cabrera closing his career off, and he's fucking destroyed us. And he's had a great career. This is his last time at Yankee Stadium. So to be respectful, I'll give him that and say great career. I look forward to the series. I'm glad to be back home, and I think Austin Wells is going to hit like 3 short porch homers. I'm trying to pull a you now and just predict everything.
You want to be me. It's fine.
Volpe had a nice series too, man. Like just with the defense of series 2 was so fucking clean.
You know, one thing I realized about Volpe, he's utilizing that like. Oh, it's not gonna be a diss, you weird.
Yo, you knew I really thought you were gonna go somewhere.
I've realized that he's been utilizing that left field foul line a lot to get doubles down the line. And I feel like it's something that we might see like infield start to adjust and really hug the line against Volpe.
Maybe. Also defensively, yo, like he's really making up for the lack of arm strength, which isn't even that bad, but he's releasing the ball quick as hell. Like that I don't call it a Jeter play because it was different. That ball in the hole that he threw first.
Jeter, bro.
No, I know
why.
I know. Well, you can understand why, but it was a different play. But it was a nice play, and he's releasing the ball really quickly. He's like, I think top 3 in defensive runs saved this year. I mean, he might actually legitimately be in the Gold Glove conversation. Not that the Gold Glove means shit because it's a fucking phony ass award. But great year for Volpe. Baby Bombers 2.0 are here. Franchise altering series for the Yankees. Vibes are fucking high, Pat. I love that shirt. Where can they find you on socials?
TikTok, Twitter. TikTok, Twitter at Unhinged Patrick, Instagram at True Hennessy. Follow the Yankees Avenue Show on TikTok at Yankees Avenue. Follow us on Twitter at Yanks Ave Show. Shout out to Alana. Shout out to all of you. We love you all.
I got a Barnes & Noble membership.
What does that mean?
So I paid $40. Dude, I'm such a sucker for shit like this, but I paid $40 for the year, and it got me half off the book I purchased yesterday, which is Jordan Peterson, 12 Rules for Life.
Cool.
Get me a free tote bag. Gets me 10% off the cafe and any purchase I make in the future at Barnes & Noble. Did I get a good deal?
How often do you go to Barnes & Noble?
Pretty often. And I get free shipping off their website. So I feel like
very cool.
Money put in. So the book was a $30 book. I got half off on the first purchase. So that's $15 that I'm already made back in this. It's a $40 membership, so I'm down to $25. I just got to get $25 worth of 10% offs, free shipping, $1 off my coffee at the cafe for it to make sense in a year, which it absolutely will.
It's nice, bro. Barnes & Noble's a very nice store. I will say, like, sometimes I ponder. I don't really do it, but I ponder, like, yo, do I want to go just sit at a Barnes & Noble today and just mind my own business?
Yeah, no, and their cafe is so fucking underrated.
Peaceful, very peaceful.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It makes you feel like a contributing member of society. Makes you feel good.
But I will say, like, I feel like we're the same as far as like personality goes, like not being able to sit still and whatnot. So I'm surprised you could like sit down and read a book. Because for me, I can't really do that. Any book or anything, I need to listen to it. So I could like go for a walk or like work out while I listen to either like a book or a podcast or something like that.
That makes sense. No, if it's like something where like back in the day when I had to read something for school, that's exactly how I was, or I just couldn't read it. Period. The off season, I read a lot more because I do like. It kind of grinds me a little bit. Like I know that I'm not exactly. I'm enjoying myself reading it, but I can tell like, yo, I'm fucking bounty as hell, and I don't like to sit still. But it kind of forces me to sit still. So it's like a meditation or whatever. But yo,
what are your socials, Dan?
Is it fucking fall or what, bro?
That's pumpkin
spice.
Drink it.
Drinking it. Dan on Rourke on Instagram. Dan on Rourke on Twitter. I was Yo, the new Baby Bombers had me tweeting this weekend, bro. Dan on Rourke on Instagram, Twitter, Yankees Avenue on Instagram, Yankees Avenue here on YouTube. Subscribe if you are new. And that'll do it, yo. We'll see you guys on, I guess, Thursday, whatever the hell it is, Friday. See you guys next time. Let's go, Yankees. Her body's going like September. She burns through the night like an ember. And all those things we traffic